The reason why the Epstein story is so important is because it's showing Americans that the red team and the blue team have the same owners. And you and I are not it. All right. The big question I have on my mind isn't whether Epstein killed himself or not. It's where is the database? Where is the list of clients? Where is the book with all the information about the people who were involved in exploiting these kids? Are there more islands? Who was controlling Epstein? Was he just a front guy? Was it an organization controlling him? Was it an intel agency? And who was controlling that intel agency? See, this is like a Russian doll. You open up the Russian doll, you find another Russian doll. You open up that one, you find an even smaller Russian doll. But you open up that one, you find another one. Right now, people are trying to play the blame game in MAGA. They're saying that, they said Pam Bondi needs to be fired. Well, yeah, she should be fired. She lied to the American people repeatedly, talking about a list. And now she's saying, I never said we had a list. Talking to us like we're stupid. And then you have reports that there's infighting. There's Dan Bongino. He may resign. He hasn't shown up for work since he got into a disagreement with Bondi. Okay, I don't care if he resigns or not. And then he's the assistant director of the FBI. And then you have the director of the FBI, Kash Patel, now saying that he may resign if Dan Bongino resigns. And Dan Bongino apparently saying that, if Bondi doesn't go, he's going to go. Well, I don't care. They all can go. Why are we pretending like Pam Bondi was getting orders from the sky? She reported to Donald Trump. If Donald Trump wanted this information out, it would have been out. Let's stop with all the copium. Oh, yeah, Alex Jones or whatever talking about how Trump may be using this to control the deep state. And, come on, guys. Let's get real. Occam's razor. The simplest explanation is usually the correct explanation, right? Trump's been very nervous when he talks about Epstein. Of course, he's used this issue to get votes with these posts. But then when people call him out directly, hey, are you going to actually release the list? Well, maybe, come on. What's going on? And people are saying that, well, if he was on the list, it would have been used against him in 2024. We need to stop thinking about individuals. Think about it as systems. We need to focus on the systems. Because if a lot of people in Congress, a lot of people in government and business have been compromised and been involved in this stuff and blackmailed, obviously one party isn't going to release the information because it'll jeopardize them as well. So I don't know who exactly is compromised. It's not looking good when I look at Trump. I don't know if he's been pressured. I don't know if he's been blackmailed. After all, we are talking about a blackmail operation. I'm not pretending like I have the answers. But I got to look at reality. We all should look at reality. So it's not red team or blue team. What's important about this case, this situation, isn't just the story itself. It's the fact that if you can't believe what the government is telling you about this situation, how can you believe anything that they have to say? And it's forcing people to look at this reality. You're seeing bipartisan support for, okay, release this information. And it's interesting how the mainstream media, they're not really jumping on this. No, because they're protecting the same people. They're all protecting the powers that be. They report to them. Republicans, Democrats, they get their money from donors, lobbyists. Come on. But it's exposing what we're really dealing with. It's interesting how people are reporting that, Bondi, but not the person she works for. So who does Trump work for? It's interesting because this memo was leaked by Axios, one of those entities, on Sunday or Monday. And also early this week, Netanyahu showed up to visit Trump. That's interesting. Of course, earlier this year, Trump decided to bomb Iran after Israel got into a battle, started a war with Iran, or a shooting war, whatever. Why? Why did he get involved? He ran on being the peace president. He ran on ending the endless wars. Isn't it interesting how Netanyahu just gets his way? He gets all the bombs he wants. He gets the money he wants. Why? Does he have leverage over us? Over our leadership? And who's controlling him? This is what we need to start asking. It's interesting how Trump tried to almost belittle his supporters when he was asked by a reporter about the Epstein situation. Are we still talking about Epstein? Dude, you sort of ran on part of your campaign was based off of that stuff. The most transparent administration ever. And we shouldn't question the DOJ's decision on Epstein, talking about how there is no list. There is no list. There is no blackmail operation. Really? In the past, Donald Trump himself has talked about the island, people going to the island. Well, let's find out who went to that damn island. And don't tell us that, that there's no list. Are there more islands that we don't even know about? If we can't trust you on this issue, how can we trust you on any other issue? We don't need a scapegoat. We need transparency. We need Donald Trump to give us what he promised us during that campaign. And we need to hold him accountable. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And don't forget the future belongs to those who prepare for it today. All right, somebody asked me, why am I carrying the Glock 30 if I'm going to carry the Glock 21 mag? Really simple. Less of a slide, less barrel, less material in the upper frame. It just weighs less and it's easier to conceal. So I get the same capacity and a lighter weight gun. And I got another Glock 30 as a backup, along with additional mags. By the way, if you conceal carry, make sure you have a tourniquet, some type of emergency dressing, gauze, and some type of hemostatic gauze that can actually stop the bleeding. You want to have all that stuff near your vehicle, at home, something that's easily accessible.